These are the strangest things that have ever been caught on camera, part 2. This footage from a security camera in Alaska shows what appears to be a real-life Men in Black agent talking to the store's receptionist. Unfortunately, there isn't any audio in this clip, but what the man appears to say to the woman alarms her, as she reaches into her drawer, pulls out a gun, and aims it at the man. But all the man does in response is remain calm, lift his hand in the air, tilt it, and then put it right back down on the desk. This seemed to put the woman in some sort of a trance, as she put the gun down and gave him a mysterious package. This next video shows a woman shopping in China when an item behind her mysteriously falls down. She then proceeds to pick it up and put it back onto the shelf. Immediately after doing this, she begins to act very strangely, as if she was being possessed. She then falls to the ground and proceeds to freak out as if she was in severe pain. As the other shoppers in the store try to help the woman, she lets out a ghostly scream which causes the camera to flicker and items to shake. Many people believe that this lady was possessed.
This is why you should always remember your parents' phone number. A man named Liam met a girl named Ava. The two fell in love in high school and decided to get married. They worked every day in order to save up for a house, but things changed when Ava became pregnant. They were both shocked to find out that Ava was pregnant since they were both young and it wasn't planned. 9 months later, Ava gave birth to a little girl named Casey. A couple years go by, Liam and Ava are constantly arguing and begin to talk about divorce. So the two sat down together and formed a plan to fix their relationship. One day, Casey goes missing. After searching for a couple years, there was no luck in finding Casey. Ava and Liam begin to move on and start life over. 15 years later, Ava and Liam are sitting on the couch when suddenly Liam's phone rings. Liam answers the phone and says hello, and then his face sinks. Ava says, "Who is it?" Liam looks at her terrified and says, "It's Casey." Ava looks at Liam and says, "How? I thought you killed her to spend more time with me."
Once you hear why he did this, it will change the way you look at strangers. In 2018, a woman was out for a walk in the blistering cold when she saw a teen girl coming towards her wearing just pajamas and oversized shoes. Turns out it was 13-year-old missing person Jamie Close, and boy did she have a terrifying story to tell. 87 days earlier, a man had broken into her home in the middle of the night, killed her parents, and then taken her prisoner. He brought her 70 miles away to his house where she was kept under a bed and largely forgotten about. She was just there for no apparent reason. When her captor left one night, she managed to escape, and that's when she ran into this woman on the road. Jamie's captor, 21-year-old Jake Patterson, was quickly found, and he immediately confessed. And this is why he did it. On his way to work one day, he stops behind a school bus and he sees a girl get on. He doesn't know anything about her, and he decides, I'm going to kill her family and I'm going to take her. He had no motive, he had no criminal history. This was truly random.
This is the haunting true story of Jennifer's solution. Jennifer Pan was an Olympic caliber figure skater and straight A student who won many scholarships and early acceptance to college. Her parents had high expectations and wanted Jennifer to do well in college so that she could become a successful pharmacist. But this all changed in 2010 when police received a horrifying phone call.
What's your name?
My name is Jennifer.
Someone just broke in?
Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
Jennifer made this disturbing call to police right after she witnessed 3 men break into her home and murder her mother and leave her father fatally injured. But the next day, when Jennifer was being interviewed by police, she admitted that she was the one to hire the killers. Jennifer then told the officers that her parents were putting so much pressure on her to succeed that the only way she could get freedom was by hiring 3 hitmen to kill them and make it look like a home invasion.
Scary facts about North Korea, part 3. North Korea has a fake propaganda village that was built to look like a peaceful place so people from South Korea will come up to North Korea. But in reality, the village is completely empty. All the buildings have no windows, and all the lights that come on are set on automatic timers. The only people that are ever here are just maintenance workers. North Korea's most popular attraction is visiting Kim Jong-il's preserved body. North Korea tells their citizens that this man has godlike abilities and that they must pray to him. Right now, as we speak, North Korea has closed down their capital and are executing citizens to stop the spread of COVID-19. This is super disturbing, and I feel bad for everybody living in this country.
This is the creepy story of the Rake. So one couple woke up in the middle of the night to find a strange looking creature at the end of their bed. They describe it as half human and half dog. The creature suddenly sprang up and ran towards their daughter's bedroom. The couple immediately ran after it, but by the time they got there, it was too late. Their daughter's face was frozen in a scream, her last words being, "He is the Rake."
Yo, what's up? These are scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 27. When you pass away and you were one of those people that donated your body to science, it could be used for one of three things. It could be used for medical training, it could be used for forensic research, or it could be used as a crash test dummy in cars. Back when the guillotine was being used very often, people would rush to get their heads chopped off because if they weren't one of the first ones, the blade would end up getting dull, and once the guillotine came down, their head wouldn't be fully chopped off and they would still be alive going through this painful mess. This fact makes me cringe, but for every one person on Earth, there are over 200 million insects. Well, if your mom didn't get you a dog for Christmas, I guess you can choose from the 200 million insects. There's something known as a boom-slaying snake, and its venom will cause you to bleed from every hole in your body, and I mean every single hole. There's something known as a poop bank, and you can get feces by the bottle there. That's disgusting.
Scary stories to tell in the dark. The licked hand. A young girl named Lisa often had to spend nights alone because her parents worked late. So they bought her a dog to keep her company and to protect her. One night, she was awakened by a dripping sound, so she went to the kitchen to make sure the tap was off. As she went back to her bedroom, she stuck her hand under the bed and the dog licked it. But the dripping sound continued, so this time she went to the bathroom to make sure the tap was off. She then went back to her bedroom and stuck her hand under the bed and the dog licked it again. But the dripping still continued. This time, she went outside to make sure all the faucets were turned off. She went back to the bedroom, stuck her hand under the bed, and the dog continued to lick it. The dripping continued. Drip, drip, drip. This time she waited and realized the dripping was coming from her closet. She opened the door and saw her dog hanging upside down with the throat cut. Written on the inside of the closet in blood was "Humans can lick too."
This might look like a normal photo, but it's actually one of the most chilling ghost photos I've ever seen. In 1942, this photo was taken at this couple's wedding with a box camera. The couple is smiling, but somebody else in the picture is not very happy about this day. If you pay close attention to the tree on the right, you'll notice something disturbing. An image of an angered woman in the trees is shown reaching out at the couple. Now, this actual photo was passed down through the generations, so there's no way that it could have been photoshopped. When you zoom in again, the image is even more terrifying. This is the scary story about the knock. One night, a girl named Lisa was in bed when she suddenly heard a knock on her window. She thought it was something random and ignored it, but about 20 seconds later, she heard it again. She then started to get worried and decided to check if anything was out there. When she opened the blinds, she saw her mom's face, and she had a weird look on her face. Lisa was wondering why she was outside at this time of night, so she opened the window so she could talk to her mom. But right when she opened the window, a man popped up out of nowhere, holding Lisa's mom's head in his hands. She screamed and slammed the window shut and ran out of her room. But right when Lisa opened her bedroom door, the man was standing there with both Lisa's mom and dad's heads in his hands. Lisa was frozen in horror and she couldn't move as the man walked towards her and slowly stuck a knife in her neck.